Hello, lovely friends. Have you ever wondered how to make enamel pins but were afraid to ask? Well, let Wacom and myself take you on a whirlwind 7-step road to pin magic.
I've been making pins for about 2 years now. This one sold out in 7 minutes. My pins are all limited editions and I produce and market them in my Inkshift Facebook group and I sell them on inkshift.com. There are two kinds of enamel pins, soft and hard. Soft enamel is the most suited for detail, they're the most popular and they're the quickest to make. They have raised metal areas that are then filled with enamel paint, giving them a nice textured feel. Hard enamel pins are flat and smooth. Its metal areas are overfilled with paint and then polished down so the paint is flush to the metal. Hard enamel is slower to make, generally more expensive, and less suited for detailed artwork. I make what are called hat pins, and they range from about 1.5 to 4.5 inches, but you can make pins any size you want. You just have to find the factory that's right for you. So here are 7 magical steps to making enamel pins. Step 1. Make a design. I generally start on paper and then go into Clip Studio Paint on my Cintiq to digitize it. Dynamic silhouetted shapes with bright colors will make your pin read best and stand out. Step 2. Find a factory. Most pins are made in China. You can go factory direct or find a US middleman or woman, but they will likely use a Chinese factory anyway. A US middle person can help you with design and any problems you may have with that factory. They will save you effort, but they will be more expensive and will take longer. You also have less control over the production. I go factory direct because it's faster and cheaper and it offers you more freedom of amounts, metal, glitter and glow, etc. options. It is more work and is more problem solving, so pick your poison. If you want to go factory direct, sites like Alibaba have a huge directory of factories to pick from. You can have a sample made, but you'll still have to pay for the mold fee and the shipping. Finding a reliable factory is very much trial and error and it takes time and effort. I'm in my 2nd year of pin making and currently on my 4th factory. Your factory will make you a quote based on your wishes and that should have the mold fee, shipping and unit price included. Things that will affect the price of your order are the amount, level of detail, color and fancy options like glow in the dark, glitter or metal options like anodized metal, gold, copper, etc. Most factories also have a minimum order quantity of 100. Step 2. 2D to 3D translation. There are a few basics that you must abide by in this process. All pin designs must have clotheslines for each different colored area. Since many are painted by hand, each color has to be separated by a raised metal enclosure which prevents colors from mixing together. We call those cells and they will be filled with enamel paint. You cannot use gradients in your colors. Each cell can only have one color. You can make a gradient with multiple cells of a similar shade. Fill space is the minimum amount of space a factory needs to fill your cells accurately, generally between 0.4 millimeters and 0.6. Minimum line thickness is especially relevant for hard enamel pins as the process tends to thicken the lines a little. Ask your factory about this because they'll be different for each one. To test my spaces, I draw a blob in Illustrator, set it to the minimum fill space dictated by a factory, and I test all my cells. It's tedious business, but it will make your pin look the best it can be. Now is also when you indicate if any cutouts need to be made. Cutouts are parts that are literally cut out of the mold. This can be holes in the middle of a pin or anything that requires delicate cutting of the mold. If your design does not meet the requirements and you don't want to change your design, the factory will insert recessed metal areas in your design to ensure that they can still make the pin work. Step 4. Bitmap to vector. All factories will want a vector file from you. If you don't have a vector file, some factories will offer you a design service and convert files for you. I'm a control freak. I prefer to retain fine control of my designs. I've never tried that. Vectorizing your design happens in Illustrator or a similar vector program. I draw over my bitmap design in Illustrator on a new layer and I use the brush tool, set the pressure sensitivity. You can also replicate the bitmap using the regular tools, but ain't nobody got time for that. This is why people use the trace bitmap command, but beware that it needs a lot of tweaking to stay true to the original line. Step 5. Pantone coloring and matching. Screen colors work differently than printing colors, so you will need to convert your RGB colors to Pantone, a system used by factories to make sure that your colors match across different processes. You can do this 2 ways. Let Illustrator automatically convert your colors by selecting your design, choosing the Recolor Artwork command, selecting Color Books, and choosing Pantone Plus Solid Coated. Your RGB colors will now show up as Pantone codes. The Pantone conversion space is limited and your match will rarely be 100%, so be sure to check your colors before you send them off. You can also use a Pantone coated swatch book and compare that to your screen, but the books are very expensive, they don't last forever, and I haven't had any major issues doing it the digital way. Step 6. Submitting files and approving proofs. So we vectorized, Pantonized, and moisturized. And now we send our files as either AI or PDF to the factory and we wait for the proofs. A proof means that your files have been reviewed for color, fill space, and cutouts, and they fit the design to their production templates. It is very important that you check your proofs well, because it's your last chance to make corrections before production starts. Step 7 is the easiest. Pay up and wait. Most factories accept PayPal. Find out if you can pay a deposit rather than the whole amount, but not all factories will let you. Most pins can be done in about 15 to 25 days, but more complicated ones like Hamlet can take up to 6 weeks.
7 magic steps to pin making. Completed. Congratulations. There's a lot more to talk about, but this is a good start. Obviously, this video is based on my personal experiences, so do not consider this the pinnacle of pin making tutorials. I want to thank Wacom for letting me share my thoughts, and I hope this was helpful. My name is Jeremy C. Joseph, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you for watching, and now go forth and make some beautiful pins. Bye-bye.